Welcome back to Ladies Love Country.
We're your hosts, two wannabe Aussie cowgirls with big playlists and even bigger energy.
This is your backstage pass to country music, Aussie festivals, and all the chaos that comes with it. Boots on, mic's hot, let's get into it.
Oh, hey, Lane.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
I'm good.
I thought I accidentally declined you getting into the call just then. But you're...
Phenomenal. No, that's very fair. I'd decline me too.
So from Tamworth to the main stages of Australia's biggest country festivals, Lane Pittman is one of the freshest voices in the Aussie country music scene. Lane's music blends classic country storytelling with a modern edge. At just 19 years old, Lane's already supported acts like Luke Combs, James Johnson, and Travis Collins, and he's been dubbed one to watch by fans and industry legends alike. Lane recently finished touring on the Chug Music's Fresh Country Festival along the east coast of Australia. That was a festival that you helped organise or organised yourself?
Bits and pieces of. I was around. I was in the nooks and crannies a little bit.
Okay, cool. But there's one thing we know for sure, and that is the man loves himself some Crocs.
I do. They're go-tos. This is one of the very rare times that I'm actually not in Crocs currently. I'm in some socks. It's freezing here in Newcastle, so I'm just rugged up.
Oh, cool. Thanks so much for coming to chat with us. We're so excited after coming off the back of the Fresh Country tour. It was literally so cool to see it all happen. And thanks for taking the time to come talk to us.
And congratulations about baby on the way. Very exciting.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Is so exciting.
Yes, me and Grace are very excited. We've been keeping that secret for a little bit now, so it was nice to finally pull the trigger on it. I was a little hesitant. I was like, no, can we just wait a little bit more? And she was like, no, I'm doing it. She wrote it, and I threw her my phone. I was like, okay, if you're posting it, you're taking my phone to accept the collaboration. And I just hid under a blanket for 10 minutes while it initially went up. I was like, no, not reading the comments, not looking at it. The internet can be a mean place sometimes.
Oh no, I'm sure.
I feel like everyone will be so excited for you.
Yeah, why would anyone be mean about that? That's
oh, I don't know. You never know what you're going to get with the internet. But I mean, the reaction's been great. Everyone's been super supportive and excited. I mean, Wade, who's been a good friend of mine for a few years now, he called me that night and he had the shits because I didn't tell him in advance. he rang me. He's like, what's this? I'm getting a call asking if I'm going to be the godfather, and I didn't even know. He's like, I've got the shits. He's like, no, I'm off you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not babysitting. I was like, that's rough.
No babysitting. That's heavy.
I conned him into it by the end of the phone call. I laid the law down. I told him that he needed to. So
he's going to be the godfather?
I think so. I mean, me and Wade have been good friends for a long time now. I think it was yesterday, has been 3 or 4 years since we've known each other, and his family have known my family for a long time. Wade's from Winton, my family's from Mount Isa, so he's always been intertwined sort of with our family, and we've sort of got our own little unique relatability path being in this industry. So it's been great, and I love that man to death, and he's probably one of, if not my best friend in the industry.
Oh, that's so nice.
I think it probably is so important as well in the industry to have someone to relate to, because I can imagine it's just a whole nother world out there that kind of probably is very hard for other people to relate to. So I can imagine it's a good thing to have someone to talk about it.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the first couple of years with Wade was real interesting because he just came from the rodeo world and having to give him little bits of advice, being like, okay, this is how this industry does it. And but now that man, he's on his own path. I mean, he's absolutely insane. He's going on a US tour in a couple months and super proud of everything that he's achieving at the moment.
Yeah, I saw he was doing a US tour. He's got so many dates on there.
Yeah, I'm like the proud little brother that's just like, yes, go, you do it, go, be you.
But come back for babysitting.
Go, Dad.
Pretty much. I'm like, you can go, but only for the time that you've said you're going for, and then you have to come back.
Yeah, well, that's really cool that you're having a baby. How far along is Gracie?
She is. Oh, geez, I'm not good with numbers. Not great with numbers, but I know she's due in the middle of Feb. So I don't know. People who are good at maths can figure out the number. I don't know it. I should know it, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
I was going to say, she'll be a Pisces.
You might say
Yes.
what, she or he, she or he.
Sorry, she or he.
Yes,
Sorry.
the baby will be. I mean, Gracie's also born in Feb, so she's a Pisces as well. So
They're a good start.
we're hoping that as it stands, the baby is not due on her birthday and it's not due on Valentine's Day. So I think I'm okay so far.
Oh, that's good. You're in the clear. Well timed. So Lane, we wanted to kind of talk about a few things on here. Like, obviously you wanted to talk about what you've got coming up in the future, any new music and like festivals, and then kind of like a bit about your history and how you got to be where you are today. So we might start with Fresh Country, because that was kind of the most recent tour that you did. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so Fresh Country was just a brainchild that me and my day-to-day manager Matt, who works at Chug, had. We were on the Loop tour in January, and we knew that we were going to do a headline tour at some stage this year. And I just kind of floated the idea. I said I enjoy like playing with a lot of people. Like, don't get me wrong, the opener and the headliner shows, they're always fun, but there's something about really building out a show and making it a spectacle that people want to see. And the more we started talking, we were like, why don't we just put on like a mini touring festival and have it be our headline runs for the year? And he was like, I don't hate that, leave it with me. And then he came back probably, I think we were brainstorming this in New Zealand and Brisbane, and then I think by the time we got to Melbourne, he came back and said, well, we think we're going to do it, and Spotify are going to jump on board as a major sponsor. And I was like, oh, okay, this is very serious. And then we brought our booking agent in, Katie from Wheelhouse, and she suggested bringing out the Wet Whistles and Dylan and Max. And I was just like, yeah, I'm all for this. Let's have some fun. Let's really make it a moment.
I think it was such a perfect thing to do, because I think so many people maybe knew one or two of the lineup of the four, for instance. And so it is such a great way to introduce Australians to other artists, because like that's the whole reason we started this podcast as well, is we want to kind of represent Australian artists and show that, yes, the international artists are amazing, but Australian artists are just as good, and like push for that as well. So I do think like even we didn't know of the Wet Whistles.
We knew of them, but we didn't really listen to their music.
Yeah, and so it was so cool to be able to like dive more into them, see, because I do also think the minute you see someone live, it's a whole nother level of like appreciation for what they do in their music. So I think it was a fantastic idea. We want more of them.
Sure.
Yeah, will you put on one for us?
I don't know what the plans are, but I'd love it. It was such a great time, and I think if we were to do it again, I mean, I'm a little selfish. I felt like the tour wasn't long enough. We kind of just hit our stride in Sydney, and then it was like the second last show, and I was like, oh, this is over tomorrow night. This sucks. So if we were to do it again, I'd love to do more than just the capital cities. I'd love to take it regional. There's so many regional towns that don't get to experience shows like this. So taking it out, to places that necessarily wouldn't get these opportunities is something I'd love to do.
That's such a cool, it's such a cool little idea. I definitely, we vote yes. I reckon you should do it again.
So if you vote yes, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
We'll talk to Matt. We'll make it happen. So you've got so just on the Fresh Country, I wanted to talk about your Crocs a bit more. So you had surgery. Was that the reason that you were in Crocs, or were you just a massive Crocs fan?
I'm a massive Crocs fan, but the reason I did have to wear the Crocs on stage is because I had surgery a week before tour started. I'd been, trying to get in for this surgery for God knows, like 3 months. I had 3 months off, and I'd been trying to get in, and they finally gave me a date, and it was a week before tour started. And I was just like, well, this needs to be done. I was like, Doc, can I walk in a week and can I fly in a week? And he was like, I think so. And I was like, I think so is good enough for me. We locked it in. We did the surgery, and I'd texted Matt. I think I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to wear boots. Looks like I'll just be wearing my dirty, disgusting Crocs on stage. And he's like, leave it with me. And then the next day he texted me and was like, Crocs are sending you a heap of free Crocs and gibbets to wear on tour. And I was like, okay, I love this. I'm here for it. I will take free Crocs any day of the week.
Oh my God. Well, that was my next question. I was going to ask. I personally don't own a pair of Crocs, but I'm about to. And I want to get those. I want to get those little gibbets. Is that what they're called?
Yes, gibbets. They are.
You should get like
they're the peak of fashion. Ones. They're the peak of fashion, is what I tell everyone. If you have gibbets on, then you have style and you have fashion and personality. And if you don't, then you're just pretty basic, and that's boring for you.
100%.
What gibbets do you have?
Yeah, you should get little Lane Pittman ones.
I actually Crocs did send me an L and a P, so I've got an L and a P like personalized for my Crocs. But then I'm a big Bulldogs fan. I'm a big NRL guy, so I'm a Bulldogs fan. So I have Bulldogs gibbets on like each of my Crocs, just so that everyone knows. And then my drummer owns a cafe, so I wear his gibbets that he makes for his cafe as well.
So you got bull and then dogs on the other foot.
No. I just have the little like Bulldogs logo. I just have the little like Bulldogs shield that sits on my Crocs. It's great.
How good. I think I might get a little cowboy hat or something, and then GM, general manager.
GM.
That's the plan. So yeah, the whole thing was such a great success. And you mentioned before about like kind of branching out into more regional areas. So we know a couple of the shows that you're doing this year. One of them's Riding Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Denny.
Groundwater. Yeah.
Groundwater. We're doing Savannah in the Round as well up in Cairns. It'll be our second year. So a lot of these festivals are really fun for us. But, you know, I love just like getting out and really branching regional. So next year we're in the planning phases of it at the moment to really get nitty and gritty and play places that we haven't played before and really just test those markets. There's so many people that I aspire to be in that sense of touring. Like the Wolf Brothers are a great example. Mm-hmm. They will play anywhere and everywhere that'll have them. And I think there's something really inspiring and there's a real big lesson to take out of that. It's not that you're too big to play anywhere. It's that if people want to hear you, you should go there because, you know, just because they live in the regional areas doesn't mean they shouldn't have the opportunity to listen to this great music.
I was going to ask, do you find it different? Like, obviously, Riding Hearts, I think, will have a lot of city people versus, like, something like Denny Ute Muster. It is a lot more country and regional people. Do you find, like, there's a different sort of, like, atmosphere? Like, when you're on stage, do you kind of cater that towards the audience? Or it's you every time, whether it's for the city people or the country people?
Yeah, I think my approach with it is to just be me, because I mean Riding Hearts is a great example of a festival that gets that country. I wouldn't say I saw like one of the clips that you guys said like country curious crowds. That's I think a great way to put it, especially for Riding Hearts. They're people that are like, oh, we listen to a bit of Morgan Wallen on pop radio, but we're not sure how we feel about the whole thing. So we'll go and investigate this little festival, and it's a great gateway. I say this is what I love about the internationals. They're a great gateway in for the regular person who hasn't grown up on country their whole life. And I've been fortunate, obviously, touring with Luke twice to get that opportunity to show the more casual country audience what Australian country music has to offer.
Definitely.
So cool.
We love the country, like, curious, because we do think it is such a big thing at the moment. People like trying to figure out, and especially because there are so many different genres as well to country. Like, it's not just the one kind of area of country. So I think it's such a cool thing we want to explore more. It's like, how do we like get people that are curious to come to these festivals and to listen? If someone was telling you that they were country curious, is there an artist that you would recommend someone to listen to that you think is a good like gateway into country music?
Oh, geez.
Sorry,
I mean, I guess it goes with the whole country being such a blanket term these days. It's kind of like pop. So it really depends. Like if they just want something easy and palatable, I'd recommend them like a Luke Combs, a Cody Johnson, a Morgan Wallen. But if they really want to get into the nitty gritty, you can look at amazing songwriters like Hardy, Ernest. There's a band called Muscadine Bloodline who was supposed to play CMC this year, who I've loved for 7 odd years now, and I was gutted actually when they announced they weren't coming. But
we were like, so upset.
We're really hoping for them to be CMC this year.
I'm hoping, and there's guys like that, or you can really send them down the traditional route. You give them your Randy Travises, your George Straits, the Highwaymen. You give them enough that they can learn the history, but if it's not their style, they have the newer stuff which they can gravitate towards.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, well said. Well said, Lane. That's good. But yeah, I think just on like the country curious thing again, like it is about like our audience. Well, yeah, our audience at the moment is kind of like those city country curious people. So yeah, it'll be really great to like see, I guess, where we'll take it with like bringing more country music into the city. And I think like it'll be great for like Aussie artists and all of the festivals to like really showcase all that talent. So we're super excited. So we've got a few things coming up this year, like a few other festivals like going to Gympie and Denny, and what else have we got? Groundwater, Riding Hearts, Strumming Bird. So particularly with Riding Hearts, because it's like, I think you mentioned earlier about Riding Hearts and how like, the person who maybe didn't know too much about country. That's kind of what happened with you.
I took my friend who like didn't know anything about country, but I was like, oh, it's a great chance to like listen to some good music. Like you kind of convince them on all the other things, not just the music. And then the minute they're there, they're like, oh, and now she's like obsessed with Sam Barber. She loves Bailey Zimmerman. Like they go not thinking that. I think there is such a stigma around country music that people go, I don't like country music. And then the minute they get there, they're like, what isn't there to love about country music? Like, honestly,
Exactly.
I could talk forever about it.
I've said this for a long time. I think the stigma was that people thought country was just dogs, beers, and trucks.
Yeah.
And the more you dive into this genre, don't get me wrong, there's some great beer, dogs, and party and truck songs. Like they're great and they have their place, but there are so many amazing songwriters who touch on such real issues that anybody can relate to, and I think that's what really makes country the genre that I've gravitated towards my entire life.
Cool. Well, I was going to say, because you have a new song out, The Man I'm Turning Out to Be. Did you want to talk more about that? Because I think that is definitely a showcase of how country music can kind of use lyrics in definitely a meaningful way.
Yeah, I mean that song for me has been a song that I've been trying to write now for four or 5 years, since I started getting into music and started to play around with the idea of songwriting. I lost my dad back in 2018. He passed away in a car accident. I was, I don't even think I was 12 yet. I think I was still just like about to turn 12. And that was a really weird kind of time for me. I was 2 weeks out from playing like my first live performance, and dad had like G'd up. He was going to be home from work and he was going to come, and we were super excited. So I sort of buried my head in music off the back of him passing away, which thank God has worked out really well. And I got in a room at the start of December in Nashville. It was the first ride of this trip. It was like 9 a.m. on a Monday morning. I'd never met these two riders. They're amazing, Aaron Pollock and Lydia Sutherland. And I had the back end of the chorus sitting in my phone, and I played it, and they were just like, it's not the song we thought we were going to write at 9 a.m. on a Monday morning, but I feel like it's a song that kind of needs to be written now that we've heard it. Like we can't not write the song. So I sat down, and I feel so bad. I trauma dumped on them for like an hour about mine and my dad's relationship, which is not the cleanest of relationships. It was a very messy one towards the end, and I just kind of trauma dumped and was like, "Bleh." And an hour and a half later, Aaron was like, "Cool, the song's done," and I'm like, "No, it's not. We haven't worked on structure. Well, I've just been talking to you." And he's like, "Dude, I've been sitting here taking notes for the last like hour and a half on like little stories that you've told me," that I'm like, "Oh, that's a great verse nugget. That'll be good for a bridge, or that's great for the chorus." And lo and behold, this song came out of it. And as soon as I played it, like we finished it that day, I walked out of the room and I was like, okay, this is a song that I'm going to push hard to release and to put out. Like just for me personally, I felt I needed to put it out as some sort of like catharsism. I think that's the word. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention in English. I knew I was going to be a musician, so I stopped paying attention in every other subject other than music. Slightly regret it now. But yeah, I pushed really hard, and I remember the first time I was still in Nashville. I think I couldn't sleep. My sleep schedule was ruined. It was like 2 a.m, and I called my mum because it was like the morning over here, and I said, "Hey, and thank God it was her day off work. So I just said, hey, listen to this. And I felt so bad. Like I was on FaceTime with my brother while she was listening to it. And I just like watched her just like become a puddle of tears. And I was like, oh, well, sorry, Mum, but at least I know the song's good because you wouldn't cry if it wasn't. So I just took that away. I sent it around to my band too. And my band came back crying. And I was like, oh, never seen my drummer cry before. I was like, that's a strange sight. And sent it to the management team, and they came back and were like, oh, there's something really powerful about this. And lo and behold, 6 months later, we finally got around to putting it out.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like it's such a cathartic and like emotional process writing a song. And then like, I think we spoke to another artist a few weeks back, Sarah Catania, and she explained it like you're reading out pages of your journal to a crowd of people, but it's not just a crowd, it's like, the whole world. So it must be such a hard song to write for you. And like, just want to say that it's such a beautiful song, like really moving, and you should be really proud of it. Like, yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the good thing is, and I don't know where I picked this up from, maybe it was my time like on The Voice and being in that reality world, which I'm sure we can dive into later. But for me, I've sort of learned how to take emotions out of a song in a weird way. Like for the longest time before I'd written Man I Was Turning Out to Be, I was playing Even Though I'm Leaving by Luke Combs, which also like was kind of my tribute to my dad every show. And there's the occasional time where you'll get me have a little tear, but I've learned to take the emotion out of it. And putting this song out for me has really been nice in a way. I've realized that the song, as much as I wrote it about my relationship with my dad and losing him, I've spoken to so many people who have had, similar experiences, whether it was their dad or their pop or their grandma, their mum, their best friend who committed suicide. There's so many ways that people can relate to this song. It just doesn't have to be about, a father and a son. It's just you're hoping that someone who's no longer here is proud of you. And that for me has probably been, the most gratifying part of the whole writing and putting out of this song.
Which I think the audience would like respect so much as well, because it makes them feel like they're not the only ones that feel like that as well. I think that's what is so good about music, is that you realize that everyone is kind of going through the same kind of things, and you can lean on each other, or like you can lean on music, I think, to get through it, which is such a cool thing.
Yeah, music's always been a special thing like that. I mean, my whole life it's sort of been music's been the thing. If I'm sad, I'm listening to music. If I'm happy, I'm listening to music. If I am getting ready to go play a stadium full of 60,000 people, I'm going to go and play the most hype Nickelback song I can find on Spotify. Music's always around. Did you grow up with music in your family, or like how did you kind of get into country music? Yeah, I mean, country music's always been played in my family. My dad's from a town about an hour and a half north of Tamworth, Walker, so he was up in that country. And my mum is from far north Queensland. She was born and raised in Mount Isa, and they met. Dad was working up there on a station, and so country's always been around. Be it Tim McGraw's, Brooks and Dunn's. I mean, my nan and pop are big into your Chris Ledoux, your George Strait. So country's always been around for me, and I'd always like loved it, and I'd love to sing in the shower. I never thought I was any good, and in primary school, I was forced into a primary school choir. My teacher was fresh to the school, and I was in her class, and she said, everyone in my class is in the choir. We're setting an example. And as like a kid in year 4, like I was the only guy that stuck with it. It was very much like, this is weird. I'm a guy in a choir. But I mean, my voice at the time, I sounded like every other girl in the choir. My voice hadn't broken yet, so I fit right in, which was nice. And got to high school and decided, well, I'm not the smartest tool in the shed. I'm not the most athletic. I'm all right at music. I was like, I've got nothing better to do. I'll give it a shot, and I'll start putting a little bit of time and effort into it. And lo and behold, after some very, grateful opportunities that I've been gifted and been able to work towards, I do this as a full-time job. How good.
Yeah, it's so exciting to hear you like come from like country music and how it's like so transgenerational. Like that's awesome. I wish I had that growing up. We both didn't have any country music. That's why we we have each other. That's about it.
Look, as long as you have someone. I think country has always been, for me. Like, I mean, there was definitely still a heap of other influences played throughout the house, like big on rock. I mean, whenever we were in the car, like pop radio was on, so I got that little influence as well. But country's always been the main driving factor. But I think as long as you're into some sort of music, I mean, I've always just found my way. My biggest thing is, regardless of genre, a good song is going to be a good song.
Yeah.
That's why I pull from so many different places. And I mean, I guess for me, country is just where I found the most good songs. I mean, that might sound a little cocky and arrogant considering I'm in the genre, but you know, I think country for me has always just been the thing that I've resonated with the most.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you mentioned your band members before. We got to meet them as well at Fresh Country, and they were a very fun time. How did that come about? Like, how did you kind of form this band together?
Yeah, so I had a band, and we didn't work out. And my manager at the time, Dan, we were about, this was in probably January, and we were going to do the first loop tour in August, and I needed to have a band, and this band hadn't worked out, and Dan was like, hold the phone. Let me make some calls. And the first time I'd met all the boys was my mum's house was in the process. We were doing a heap of stuff, so we couldn't have the meeting there. We went to my nan's, and I rolled in, and I'd met Ads probably 3 days before. This was during the Tamworth Country Music Festival. I'd met him at a gig. He was drumming for someone I was doing a guest spot with, so I briefly met him. Kim, who's on lead guitar, was the year below his daughter in school, so we were in a composite music class together, so I'd known him. And then Kurt, my bass player, I'd played gigs with Kurt's uncle before, so I kind of knew of everyone, and we all got into a room and we did our first rehearsals, and that was, like 3 years ago now, and everything's been smooth sailing ever since.
Do you write music with your band as well, or you just write kind of solo or with other songwriters?
Oh, me and the boys, we've done like a little bit. I mean, nothing ever serious because we just do it when we drink most of the time.
Okay.
So nothing too substantial ever comes out of it. And if it does, there's a high likelihood that we don't remember it the next day. So,
the creative juices are flowing when you're on a few beers with the boys.
Look, our vibes when we're together, we just like try and do the fun stuff. Like we're all about just drinking beers and playing Mario Kart, which says a lot about us. Like mentally, we're probably still all 12. So, but it works. We get out on stage and we have fun, and you know, it's always a good time.
Do you have a pre-show ritual?
We kind of have a pre-show. I'd call it probably like there's a two hour kind of pre-show window, which is weird. So the 2 hours before, we kind of just like chill out. That'll be like when we'll be playing Mario Kart and having a few beers. And then an hour before we walk out on stage, so if we're going on stage at say 9:30, from 8:30 we'll completely like shut down our dressing room, and it'll just be like me and the band. No management, no camera crews, no guests, no partners. We shut it down for an hour, and we'll do our vocal warm-ups. We'll hype each other up. We'll sing songs. We'll run through how the show's going to work and if we're making any changes. And then probably 10 minutes before we walk up to stage, we do I do a very motivational speech. I become like a church pastor. I just start saying the most inspirational things. Pretty much, I channel my inner jelly roll, and I say, 90% of the time it's the most inspirational thing you'll ever hear. 10% of the time it's like the dumbest shit that'll ever come out of my mouth. So I say that, and then we do a shot of Fireball, and then depending on the show, we have like 3 or 4 different chants that we'll do together as a band. And I'll just sort of call it on the fly which one that is.
Okay, this is a very extensive pre-show ritual, and I'm here for it.
It's very long, but I mean the lockdown thing's a new thing for us that we implemented this year. We've just kind of found that, especially before the big shows, it's nice to have an hour to sort of center yourself and really be like, okay, let's lock in. We've got a job to do now. We know what we're doing. Let's go do it.
Cool. I love the pre-show ritual, and I will say that Fireball is a common theme amongst most of the artists. It's
delicious. Like there's nothing. There's nothing better to shot. I mean, rum's nice, but I don't think it's a shot. Shot kind of drink.
Yeah, We'll definitely agree with you on that one. So we wanted to chat about, obviously we've talked about your kind of upbringing, and then you were 15 when you went on The Voice. Did you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, that I'd been trying to convince my mum probably since I was about 11 to go on The Voice. I was like, yeah, can I please go on The Voice? And she'd always be like, no, absolutely not. And then got to a point, I think I was in year 10. I was sitting in a geography class and I'd started to play around the school, and I'd done like a couple of gigs around Tamworth, and one of my mates was just like, hey, I saw an ad for The Voice like on TV. Are they still taking applications? I was like, oh, I don't know. I was bored and I hated geography. So I got on the iPad and I Googled it, and thankfully the applications were still open, and they pretty much said, if you don't come to school tomorrow with like an application filled out, we're not talking to you for the rest of the year, which was a bit rough at the time, but it was sort of the push I needed. So I filled it out and I got home, and not being 18, I had to get like parental approval. So I went up to mum and I was like, hey, can you just like sign this form? And she was like, oh, are you going on like a school trip? And I was like, not quite. It's for The Voice, but just like, please sign it. So she trusted me. We talked for like 15 minutes. She was like, you sure you think you're ready? And I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm not going to get an email back. I was like, cool. If they say like, now's not the time. And, you know, I tried, and she agreed. And after, I think it was 4 rounds of auditions between Zoom and going down to Sydney, I finally got the email to say, hey, you're going to be on the show.
Wow. So what do you do on these Zooms? Do you perform through Zoom? Is that what you do? Or
yeah, so you submit an online application. That's the first like thing. And then if you make it through that round, you get on a Zoom call similar to this with the producers of the show, and you just sort of play through some of your repertoire, like what you would play on the show, what you see yourself playing, you know, favorite kind of songs and all that. And then if that goes well, they do an in-person like performance in Sydney with the entire like cast of producers. And then if all goes well after that, you get the call up to come down to Sydney and film the show.
wow.
How good.
I mean, at least that's how it worked for me. I don't know how it works these days. It was a long time ago. Reality TV is always changing.
Yeah. And how did you find your experience in the show? Was it
for
were
me,
a finalist, weren't you?
Yeah, I made it all the way to the semis, so I was in the top 8. I mean, it was a strange time. We filmed the back end of 2021, started 2022, so it was still very COVID-esque. But I mean, I think for me, the best thing was just meeting people. Like, I hadn't really ventured out of like my bubble in terms of, you know, town and genre. So there being so many genre influences in that show was great. I'm still good friends with a lot of the artists, and we try and catch up where we can. Lockie, who won my season of The Voice, he came to the first Loop tour. He's come to a few of the headline shows whenever we're down in Melbourne. So it's always good to catch up. And for me, it was just establishing those bonds and friendships out of the genre that have lasted long term.
How good. How did you?
I mean, and working with Keith Urban. That's a good one that I should mention as well.
Yeah,
Sorry. Side note, I worked with Keith Urban. Great guy.
Did you get to sing with him?
I wish. He was a great coach, great to work for and work with. As soon as, you know, he turned around, I remember, I think Guy Sebastian turned around first, and then Jess Malboy, and then I saw Keith turn, and like the rest of the performance didn't matter for my blind audition. I was just like, Keith Urban's looking at me. This is crazy. He's singing the song that I'm singing at the same time. This is not real. My life's fake. And then finished. Turns out I'd gotten all 4 chairs, but I mean, it didn't really matter at the end of the day, because I was just like, I'm going to try and milk it so that I get longer on TV, but I'm choosing Keith Urban. I left the real dramatic pause in between the coach that I was going to pick, as they do on TV. I was like, I'm going to leave enough time so that if they want to slot in the ad break, they can go for their lives.
It's all about that airtime.
You've got to milk it. You don't get those opportunities every day. So no. whenever you're there, milk it.
I think yours has lasted longer than 15 seconds, though, I got to say.
I've been very lucky. I've lasted longer than 15 seconds. I think we're at about 45 at the moment. So we're approaching the minute mark, which is nice.
Great. Keep up the good work. Okay. On a lighter note, we're going to do we have a few segments that we do. The first one is going to be your song of the week.
Song of the week.
So basically just say whatever song that you've been vibing this week, and we can go first if you want some time to think about it.
Look, I think I have the song locked, and it's just because I've been waiting for return to form from this artist for ages. Hardy's new song, Bottomland.
Oh!
I've been waiting for him to and don't get me wrong, Quit was a great album. The Crow Side of Mockingbird, The Crow was great. I loved, the whole rock era, but him coming back to the country roots is phenomenal.
When I saw the name of the album, I was like, yes.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Even the last couple of EPs he released, I was a huge fan of them. They were getting rinsed for a while, and then Bottomland was my song of the week last week.
Yeah, Bottomland.
But Bottomland. Yeah. Oh my god, he's so good. I love him. Yeah. Okay, Holly, what's yours?
My song of the week is the Zach Top new. I love Zach.
A little bit of
I'm
Zach
trying
and
to think
Top.
what it is called though.
Below from Sainty or something?
Yeah, South of Sanity. It's so
South
good.
of Sanity.
Feel like he hasn't really done that many slow songs, and so it's kind of cool to see that different kind of repertoire from him to do like a slower kind of song. But it's loving it.
You saw him at CMC last year?
Yeah, he was great. We ended
good.
up on the beers after his set, which was like wild. He walked back and I was just like, oh, I just was like, hey, do you want a beer? And he's like, hell yeah, I want a beer. And
man loves a beer.
I don't know why I asked him. I was like, oh, do you want mid strength or full strength? And he was like, they do mid strength. He was like, absolutely not. Get me a full strength. So I think I just went and got him like a full strength Northern probably. And I think we just drank a beer and like chatted shit for 25 minutes, which was cool.
Oh my
That's
god.
the strategy for CMC. I think we just need to have all the beers ready to go with all the artists.
Oh my god, yeah. We'll just walk around with
That's
the
the
six
way.
pack the whole time. Actually, speaking of six packs, I hope you saw that funny video of him that he went to the ice bath with Dirk Bentley, and he drew
Ice
on.
baths are so underrated. They're so good. Side note. I see why they do them.
Well, Dirk Bentley was like, is this big ice bath advocator, and he keeps bringing people into the ice bath.
And he's tour.
And then Zach Top gets in and he's like, I need a beer and a cigarette. Like in the ice bath smoking a ciggy.
That's so fair. If I could do that, I probably would.
Oh my god, how good. Okay, well, my song of the week is one I just found. It's super old. It's by Gary Stewart. Do you know him?
No, I do
Okay,
not.
it's an old song. It's called "She's Acting Single." I'm drinking double. Double.
Is that the one? Cody Johnson does a great cover of that song.
I think that
Is it Cody Johnson?
And so does Cody Johnson does a cover of that song. Ronnie Dunn does a cover of that song as well.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure he did the original one. This one. I don't know if you can hear that.
Oh, he's so old in that.
It's like it looks like he's from the 20s. Like I found it the other day and I was like, this is a golden song.
That song is phenomenal. That song has such great writing in it.
What are you patting there?
So this is my dog. He just jumped up. A little chihuahua. One of the dogs. Wiki. Hey.
Winnie?
Hello. This is Whiskey.
Oh, Whiskey.
This is Whiskey, our little chihuahua.
So you don't, because my old dog was called Winnie, and I was like, that would be really strange.
Well, that's the name of our other dog. Where is he? Winnie, come here.
Okay,
Foxy's.
Oh,
Foxy's.
okay.
No, come here, Winnie. Hello,
We've got
Winnie.
lots of Gracies and lots of Winnies on the call.
This is Winnie. He's our little sausage dog.
Oh, she's
Hey.
yeah.
Hey, Winnie. Say hey.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Hi, Winnie. We should get
Say hello.
I've got a
He has no idea what's going on. Poor dog.
Oh no! I feel like dogs can't see like actual screens.
Yeah,
like
he can. Winnie's got like this sixth sense. He can hear when we're on the phone. Like Whiskey doesn't care if we talk to him, but Winnie, if he hears us on the phone, he's like head will tilt all the time, which is very cute.
No, I've been trying to FaceTime my dog to like my family members, and he's got no idea. He's off with the fairies. Okay, our next segment that we usually do is actually Cowboy Crush of the Week, but we also do Cowgirl Crush of the Week.
Cowboy Crush of the Week.
Yes.
I didn't have one. Oh, I do. Oh, you can't look at
No, I just know you had one.
Okay, Lane, do you want to go first?
I'm very, very biased. My Cowgirl Crush of the Week is my gorgeous partner Gracie, who is currently off screen, I think, taking the dogs outside now.
Oh,
She is an absolute trooper and is going through the motions at the minute with everything. So I absolutely love her to death, and she is forever my crush every single week.
Love that.
that's so cute. Stop it. That's so cute. Okay, Holly. It's yours.
Mine is, he's a bit young, but I
Oh.
feel like he's very cool. He's coming to Riding Hearts. It's Waylon Wyatt. I've been seeing some of his stuff. I didn't know too much about him, but he just seems like a funny character and like doesn't take himself too seriously. Like he's a bit of a goofball, I think, which I love. So I'm very keen to see him at Riding Hearts.
I really resonate with that. Goofball. Okay.
It's yours, Grace.
Mine is actually a cowgirl crush, and it's Sydney Sweeney.
How is he a cow?
I don't know if you've seen that new American Eagle campaign. American Eagle, the jeans. Have you seen the campaign?
I've heard about it. I mean, I heard there was heaps of backlash, but I haven't actually seen the campaign.
There was backlash, which is why it's a bit controversial. But she has basically tried, or the intent for the campaign was to talk about jeans, but she's wearing what's it called, Canadian tuxedo. She's like rocking the double denim, and I feel like it's really put a good country western fashion spin on mainstream media. Yeah, and she's just iconic. Like she's also just like so hot.
Why is there backlash?
Because she was talking about her genes and how she has good genes. But there was backlash saying that, you know, it's a bit like blonde hair, blue eyes, like white skin is like that's what's considered good genes. Yeah. But I'm gonna take it as a positive, because that's what I want to do, and I want to say that she's my cowgirl crush. But she's just iconic, and I like how she's like bringing. I mean, I think it is just coming into mainstream media more, just like the Western kind of style, and like I think it's definitely coming into fashion.
Well, do you find so you just moved to Newcastle, is that right? Or how long have you moved?
Yes, this is I moved in November, so like 7 or 8 months now.
Do you find it has like quite a big country music fan base in Newcastle? Because obviously you've come from Tamworth, which I imagine is like everyone gets around the country music. Like, how have you found that transition going from Tamworth to Newcastle?
Look, I love Newcastle. I think there's a vibe about this place, and it's a nice middle ground between home and Sydney. There's a niche for country here. I wouldn't say it's huge, but if you like know, you know. But I mean, I guess it's the same as everyone. Like every man and their dog's wearing like country road these days. So you know, you take the good and the bad. I mean, I love this place. I don't see myself moving away from Newcastle now. We have a great spot where the beach is like 200 meters that way, which is very nice. Whenever it's not raining and we eat outside, we hear the beach and like the waves at night, which is always nice.
That is so nice. Wow. Jealous.
So good, yeah.
We're going to do a little rapid fire question for you. It's going to be lighthearted. Okay. Do you want to say some as well?
Yeah.
Okay. First one. Oh, no. Hang on. First one. Nashville or Tamworth?
Oh, Nashville. Because I'm a food guy. Tamworth only has like 4 McDonald's and 3 KFCs. Nashville has everything.
They don't have like restaurants in Tamworth.
Oh, they do, but they're like
boots or Crocs?
Crocs. I can't wear boots every day of the week. I can wear Crocs every day of the week.
100%. Line dancing, yes or no?
Yes, but personally, no, because I'm so uncoordinated. It's not funny. Like, I'm all for it, but I'm so horrible at dancing. I feel like I would break my leg if I did it.
I'm a testament that you can get better, even if you have 2 left feet. As I am so uncoordinated, and I have improved. I'm not perfect, but I have improved. So
my dancing abilities kind of start and end at the Russell Coit. So that's my benchmark is the Russell Coit. I can do that, and I can do it all right, and that's good enough for me. What's
the last thing you Googled?
The last thing I Googled, jeez, it's probably. It was John Daly, the golfer. Because I was trying to describe. There's a story. We went to this thing last night, and I was trying to describe to Gracie's dad what this bloke looked like. And I was like, he looks like John Daly, the golfer. You know, the old golfer from Happy Gilmore 2? And I was like, we were on FaceTime. So like I Googled John Daly and I like showed Gracie's dad a photo of John Daly. So currently John Daly is the last thing I Googled.
Okay, speaking of, I have one that's off book.
Oh,
Would you rather a New South Wales win or a Bulldogs win?
hey.
Are we talking like state of origin and
State
premiership?
of Origin, New South Wales win or Bulldogs win grand final?
Oh, I'm taking Bulldogs winning grand final any day of the week. I love my state, but the last time the Bulldogs won a premiership, I was not born.
Yeah.
So I want to see that. I mean, this year
This
if
year
we do
it
it,
could happen.
it
Really?
could be on, but I'll be really salty. That's the Denny weekend. So we do Denny.
I'm coming back. You can come into I'm driving
Ooh,
Denny all the way back to the grand final.
we do
Holy Ghost.
Denny on Friday night, and then we're
Yeah.
up in Gilgandra on Saturday. So we I'd then have to drive like 9 hours back down to Sydney, and I'm just like, So if the Bulldogs are in the grand final, thank God I'm not driving at all on Sunday because I will just be on the beers.
Because that's me every Denny. We wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning just so
Holly's
I can
like-
scoot back to
Holly-
the grand final. I'm a diehard NRL fan.
The
I
Chookie.
respect that.
To be fair,
Oh.
you like you're wearing a I'm an Eagles supporter. You sometimes so I'm more a bandwagon, but you look like your t-shirt is a Bunnies supporter. It looks like the
This is actually I stole this out of Gracie's wardrobe. This is her Harry Styles Love on Tour hoodie. Gracie was a big 1D Harry Styles. Still is. She's a big directioner. I don't know if that's the term for the fan base,
wow.
but I stole this. I think the hoodie looks really cool, and it was very cold today.
It looks very cool. Okay, what's the first concert you ever went to?
Oh, first concert I ever went to. It was probably something in the Toyota Park during Tamworth. But I mean, if they don't count, the first proper concert I ever went to was Kip Moore and Lee Bryce at the Entertainment Centre in Tamworth back in 2018.
I want to see Lee Bryce. He'd be a great one. I've never seen. We've seen Kip Moore
At Denny last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kip's great. Lee's such a great performer too. He has so many. I mean, he's brought out so many hits since 2018 too. Like One of Them Girls, which was like an absolute smacker. Like there's so much good stuff. He needs to come back.
100%.
Okay, my next one's a bit rogue.
No.
Oh, sorry. We're in order. Okay, sorry, go.
Oh, we don't have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Big crowd or small crowd?
Jeez. They both have their pros and cons. I'm gonna take small crowds though. There's like a small intimate crowd that are really. I would take a small crowd of like 100 people who are like really engaged in what I'm doing, rather than like as nice as it'd be like a crowd of 50 or 60,000 people and only like half of them cared and the rest of them were just talking.
Which I did at Fresh Country. You had some diehard fans. I would say like all on the bar. I was like, they were very captivated by you.
I
and
mean,
really
especially Newcastle was like they were all kids too. I had to be really mindful. I do love to let out an occasional like swear word. So Newcastle for me, I was very on my game about not. And then Sydney, I kind of let loose a little bit, and then someone stole a microphone, which was not a great way to end the night, but we got it back.
Yeah, I saw that on your story.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was like some crazy ladies who were just very drunk and being doofuses all night, and they came up to the stage at the end of the show and stole a microphone and left as if they weren't going to get caught. And thank God my new keyboard player Carter, his like 360 camera that he uses to film all the live shows, was still recording, and he put it in the group chat and was like, found him. And I was like, cool, I'm going to post this on social media and be a prick about it.
To be fair, I actually got a bit worried because that night in Sydney, Grace plugged her phone into one of the like PowerPoints on stage just to charge her phone. And so when I saw that video, I thought it was a mistake and they'd gotten Grace for just charging her phone. And I was like, oh my God,
I made sure
not going to be good.
I was also preface that it was at the very end of the stage, and I kind of like looked at the band member who was like setting up, and I was like plugged it in, and then he was like, yeah, no worries. I was like, thank you.
When I first saw the video, I thought it was you. I was like, oh no.
Well, it was like we had to giggle. Like most microphones, for people who don't know, you will like plug them in and there's like a button that you'll push to pull the cord out of the microphone. These people obviously had no idea. They're sitting there like trying to twist the cord out. And I was like, you idiots. But thankfully, Great
What?
way to end the story. It was returned and it still works. So all is well that ends well. And they got a little bit of a spray on social media for their troubles.
Oh yeah,
Deserving.
very deserving. Do you want to say the next one? I'll say the last one.
What's your rogue party trick?
Yeah.
Geez. I am pretty impressive at shotgunning drinks. I pride myself on being able to do that pretty quickly. I can do it quicker than most of my friends. So I'd
All
say it's
right,
my party trick.
we will be seeing that one in action at Denny Ute Muster.
Okay. I'm always down to shotgun a drink, so why not?
Cool. Okay, my last one. If you had to get a tattoo of another country artist's face, who are you choosing and where is it going?
Oh, for shits and gigs, I'm tattooing Wade on my ass. I'll put Wade's face on my ass just because I think it'd be hilarious. And then he's always kissing my ass, so I'll take that. He can go there. Yeah, he can go there. Wade can be tattooed on my ass.
We'll make sure we tell him that. Oh my god, that's so good. Okay, well, there's a couple more things that popped into my head. Was obviously your Luke Combs stadium tour. We went to the Sydney show. Yeah, I was like, we went, we did go. Yeah, so it's been a lot of shows recently. How was that, and how did you kind of fall into that?
Yeah, this time around was really lucky, but the first time around I auditioned on The Voice with a Luke Combs song, and Luke's team and Luke in particular had to give permission for me to be able to sing that song. So came time to book their arena tour back in 2023, and Luke and the amazing team at Frontier were like, hell, let's give this kid a shot. Let's see if he sinks or swims. And thank God they thought we did a good enough job, and they were booking this stadium tour, and Frontier just said, hey, Lane's available if you want him to open up, but like if you want to go a different way. And talking to Luke and Luke's team, Luke himself said, oh, Lane's available? That's a no-brainer. Book him. Like, let him open the shows again. So that was a very big ego-inflating moment for about 5 seconds. I was like, yeah, Luke Combs wanted me on tour. Don't get it twisted. But this run was so great. I mean, as a footy fan, playing Suncorp and Accor Stadium was wild. I mean, Accor in particular, the second night of Sydney, the Bulldogs players, they had a suite, so like we got to go up and meet a heap of the Bulldogs players after the game. Matt's a big Bulldogs fan, my manager, I'm a Doggies fan, my younger brother came up as well, and like that for me was just like, oh, I'm meeting the Bulldogs players, this is cool.
Not too fussed about Luke Combs, you're just like the Bulldogs.
Oh, I'd hung out with Luke. I was like, Luke's old news. Luke, I hang out with Luke. He's fine. He's whatever.
Me, Stephen Crichton.
Exactly. Oh no, Crichton wasn't there. Who was it? I met Birdo.
Oh, he's in my super coach team.
I met Connor Tracy.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Curran. Me and Josh Curran DM'd a little bit back and forth. I was going to get him to come out and shotgun a beer with me, but they're in preseason, so Ciro wouldn't let it happen. Ciro Cameron Ciraldo said absolutely not.
Because we're finding that a lot of like country people there's like a crossover between the NRL and country music. So I don't know if you saw, but we were trying to do this petition, and it was basically trying to get country music to be the pre-show entertainment at the NRL Grand Final. Still open.
I would love that.
We were promoting this like just before State of Origin, which was around the time, because I think, oh no, it wasn't. The Luke Combs tour was earlier. Yeah. But it was around the same time, and then like they last minute announced Brad Cox.
Yeah. Side note, they did Brad so dirty on the live feed.
They barely even showed any of him.
I will stand up. I put on the pre-show. Like I normally don't watch it. I'll just tune in like 5 minutes before kickoff. I'll watch them run out and do the anthem and stuff. I tuned in early. We were at like a watch party, and I said, "Nah, I'm watching early." Brad and the boys, like I know a few of the boys in his band, and they're all great, and I love them to bits. I was like, "Yeah, they're on. I'm getting in. I'm supporting it." And then Wally Lewis just starts yapping while I see Brad singing in the background, and I see Brad sing for about 5 seconds going into an ad break. It's criminal.
No.
I can say I was at the game, and he was fantastic. Like, it's amazing. I feel like the TV coverage didn't give him enough.
I didn't realize, because I was just watching vicariously through your videos. And so
I saw that he ended up posting his entire set on YouTube, and I got to watch it with the light shows and the fireworks and everything. And it was great.
How good.
So we want country music at the NRL Grand Final.
That's still the petition, 100%. And then we also, I think we were talking with the Broncos teams about doing like a kind of country themed game. like a mid-season game that would like recur every season.
The Broncos are so good. I mean, I got it, and I wore it in Brisbane just because I thought, it'd be funny, being the most unathletic kid. But the Broncos gave me like a custom Broncos jersey with Pittman on the back. So I have a custom Broncos jersey, and then I have a custom Queensland jersey, which currently, I mean, it's with me now, but I just give it to my mum. My mum's like diehard Queensland, and my dad converted me to the good state. So the Queensland jersey, I kind of gave as a gift to my mum. But I remember walking in after sound check the first day of Brisbane, and there was like a box sitting there from the Bronx, and it was like, "Welcome to Bronco Nation," signed to Adam Reynolds, and I was like, this is trash. I don't want this, but it's got my name on the jersey. So I was like, I'll take it. Like, I'll wear it tonight to get the crowd to pop. It'll be fun.
I don't know if I can wear it. I'm just such a diehard Roosters. I could not wear it.
I mean, I just wore it because it had my name on the back, and I did it to rub it into all my like athletic friends who are actually trying to be footy players. One of them actually plays now for the Cowboys. He's played, I don't know, 4 or 5 games now for the Cowboys.
Oh, very cool. What's his name?
Caden Lars. He's great. He made his debut earlier this season. We went to primary school together. I was school captain. He was school vice captain. And then he left, and now he's like a big NRL superstar.
There we go.
So fun.
Wow, put him in your super coach.
Yeah, I might have to.
He comes off the bench. I love him to death, but I wouldn't go as far as the super coach yet. He's not starting squad.
I'll keep him in mind maybe for next season.
Yeah, give him a couple years. He's early in the developmental.
Okay.
I probably have one final question, and that is, what are you up to the next few months with your actual music? Because I believe that you're recording.
I am. I'm gonna drop an exclusive. I don't know whether I'm actually allowed to say this. What's today? Today is Thursday. On Monday, I'm going into the studio to polish off the rest of the next project. So I'll be in the studio all of next week before heading to a gig in Caboolture and putting the finishing touches on the new tracks and really lock it in the track list for the next project, which is exciting. We've been playing a lot of the stuff live, so a lot of the unreleased stuff that we've been playing live's going to translate over, which is super exciting. I mean, for us as a band in particular, because we've worked these tracks up from literally work tapes when we wrote them, so it's super exciting. I mean, the band recorded Man I'm Turning Out to Be, so all the instruments you hear are the live touring band, and it's going to be a lot of similar stuff on the back end of the EP, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty with that, which I'm super excited about.
How cool. We're very excited to hear all of the new stuff that you've got coming out.
And to see you at all the festivals. We're so excited. We'll see you at Groundwater.
We're around.
Denny Muster.
All happening.
All we're going here, there, and everywhere in October. It's like the busiest month ever. I think I've worked it out that I'm away from home more than I am at home. So I'm going to be missing my bed for the month of October very dearly.
I feel like we'll be doing the same thing. Oh, cool. Well, it was so great to chat with you, Lane. Thanks so much for taking the time out.
Thank you.
No, you're very
Thank you guys for having me. And thanks for coming on the Fresh Country Tour too. It was great having you guys, and thankful that you guys came and hosted the Newie show and came and hung out again in Sydney, and we hope you guys had fun.
Oh, so much fun.
We had the best
like
time.
We said, I'm happy to do it again.
Sweet. I'll put a note down. I'll let the team know.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you guys.
That's a wrap on this week's episode of Ladies Love Country.
If you laughed, learned something, or just love a bit of chaos, give us a follow, leave us a review.
You'll find us on Instagram and TikTok at Ladies Love Country for extra gossip and behind the scenes cowboy grade nonsense.
Until next time, keep your boots on
and your playlist loud.
Yeah.